Hey kids, today I decided that I would just give up. Normally when I pick up a deck, I make sure that I can actually pronounce the card names properly. I learned how to properly say the heroic names. I learned how to properly say Yangzing cards. I spent the time to learn pretty much every deck that I've played in terms of pronunciation. But today a deck has finally broken me. Has made me give up and just decide that I don't care. Fuck it. I'm just gonna say shit. And if you all have a problem with my pronunciation, please leave a comment down below expressing your disagreement, your dissatisfaction, and telling me the correct pronunciation. Because not only will it drive up engagement for me, I'll also I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna really need it. Yeah. So today we're playing Nouvelles. It's funny hungry burger. Yep, we all know. One thing that I would like to say, like to get out of the way before we actually get into this, before we start playing the games, you have my solemn vow, my promise to you, that there will not be a single joke in this entire video revolving around me asking what someone was cooking. I will avoid the food puns to the best of my ability. This is my promise to you as a Yu-Gi tuber with not very high standards, but standards enough. So, let's get into the games. For our first game, we'll be up against Pacifist Tear Lament, although you wouldn't really know it looking at that opener. I think the goal here is... Okay, So I thought the goal here was to use Kelbeck to mill Pacifist so C Stealth Attack can still, do things, but no. And now I'm just lost. Once I saw Yorishiro of the Aqua, I was just lost. Anyway... they're going first. They're going to normal Merly, and I ash it because I know Modern Tier. They need to have exactly TK and another name to actually, continue milling, and even then it's kind of a shot in the dark if they actually hit anything. So I'm just going to ash this and pray, and it pays off. They're going to set 3 and pass. We're going to start things off strong with pre-prep for this guy and fish recipe. Then we're going to normal diviner and grab Ben 10. Then we're going to fish recipe the Ben 10 for this guy and search the meat recipe. We're going to chainlink 1 Ben 10 to search, chainlink 2 this guy to check top 5. They're going to chainlink 3 Dino, and we're going to go ahead and tribute off this Merly because they didn't have anything to do past this Merly activation. I can reasonably assume that their hand isn't either Havness or Sharon. Well, no, it could have been Sharon, but I knew that it wasn't Havness, and I knew that it wasn't, well, obviously it couldn't be another Merly. And there was nothing that they could really do with Merly Rhinoheart that I cared about. So I went ahead and I attributed it off to turn off cards like Sulliak. Lo and behold, the card in hand was TK, but I decided to tribute off the Merly and dodge the Dino because I felt that it was safe to remove this Merly. Anyway, we're going to go into the 3 and add Ben 10 to hand. This 3 is going to draw, and they're going to mill a couple. They're going to hit a Kelbeck Phantasm Spiral Power, and then they're going to mill 5. They're going to hit nothing. They hit Pacifist, though, which is actually a bit of an issue because now it means C Stealth Attack can activate it. We're going to prep. They're going to C Stealth, then chain Canadia. They're going to activate Pacifist. We're going to add 2 cards. Then we're going to activate Fussy the Cart to add this guy. They're going to summon a token and search a battle, and we're going to meet recipe. They're going to see stealth to protect their stuff, and then Pacifist will trigger a new chain blocking our stuff. Thank you very much. We're going to add Sakitama and the restaurant. We're going to try to activate the restaurant. They're going to battle that away and summon out Dynamiscus, but then we're going to summon Sakitama and go to Barone. Barone's going to pop the trap. This was a mistake. Obviously, I had no way of knowing that this would happen, but if I was blatantly cheating, I would have left this alone. I would have just, held it. Anyway, we're going to fish recipe now for the little dude, and then make Dynamondo, which will remove the sea stealth attack by spinning it rather than attacking. Big misplay here. I should have swung in with the 3 first, so I could use Baron's attack to tribute these 2 away for the 5. But, minor optimization I missed. This was like my second game with the deck. They're going to rip a Foolish Burial Goods off the top. I'm not going to negate it because negating FB Goods is just... Listen, it would put me in a very dark place mentally. They're going to activate Select. We're going to negate that because that's a card that I actually have respect for. They're going to get the token. We're going to Dynamondo for this little dude. They're going to grab power. We're going to search a recipe card. They're going to try to power it, and we are going to tribute off the token and itself for this dude. Then they're going to get another token, try to go to battle. We're going to remove that for this. And the way that the chain works, it will be negated. Pacifist is still negated. They're going to reactivate it, set the Emerald Tortoise, and then disconnect. For our next game, we'll be going up against Runic Live Twin Sprite. It's a pretty standard Runic Live Twin Sprite. I mean, nothing fancy here. So we're starting off. We've drawn the burger, which really sucks. We're going to go for restaurant for fish recipe, then put back the burger and draw. And Diviner's a really good rip. We're going to mill Herald and grab Ben 10. Then fish recipe the Ben 10 away for this little dude and meat recipe. Then Ben 10 1, little dude 2. We're going to go ahead and grab, I guess, the 5. Then we'll search Ben 10 and then ritual summon the 5, tributing the Ben 10. Chainlink 1 5, Chainlink 2 Ben 10. We're going to grab Sakitama and staff recipe. Then we're going to normal D Saki and make Baron. Baron's going to target to destroy the little dude and then go into the 3. The 3 is going to draw us a card. It's Spash. During the end phase, the restaurant's going to put 2 back and draw us another little dude. And during the standby, we'll flip this just to show our opponent. They're going to normal Lila. We're going to Baron because I know that that cutting them... The most important thing when it comes to beating Live Twin is cutting them on bodies, so I'm going to try to do so. Then they're going to try to slumber to protect it so they can keep the body, to which I'll respond with the 3 to tribute it away into the 5. They're going to Fountain to draw 1. In retrospect, I probably should have passed up on the search from the 5 in order to Ash Blossom this, but seeing the Smiting Storm in hand, I know that wasn't quite correct. My thought process was, because they're settling for a draw 1, it's reasonable to assume that they don't have any more runic spells in hand, and those are how they're going to get more 2 bodies on field. But I got really greedy because I didn't have a hand with any ritual spells, only staff recipe, and I really felt like I needed fish recipe to win the grind game. Little did I know I wouldn't need to win the grind game, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, they're going to draw 1 card, Superior, and they're going to Smiting Storm for Hugin. Not activate the effect. Special Carrot. I don't tribute away the carrot, even though it's an attack, because if they have any other sprite name, that's a Colossal Punish. Then they'll go into Gigantic Sprite, and on summon, we're going to go ahead and remove that for this guy. That will activate to negate, and our opponent will quit out. And now for our last game, we'll be going up against Vanquish Soul. This is just Vanquish Soul. I mean, what do you want me to say? We're going to normal Diviner. Diviner's going to mill Herald. Herald's going to get us to Ben 10. We have drawn Cyber Petite Angel, which really sucks. Fun fact, you can Ghost Spell Fish Recipe because it can potentially add Meat Recipe to hand, which is incredibly funny. Anyway, we're going to Meat Recipe away the Ben 10 for Little Dude and do the same chain as always. Here we are going to be adding the table and a Sakitama. We're going to activate that, grabbing staff recipe, and then normal the Saki, and go into Baron. We'll set staff recipe, and during the end phase, put back Sakitama and meat recipe to draw today's menu. We're going to flip staff recipe, and I kind of panic here upon seeing the Fenrir. I did not need to do this, but it works out. So we're going to staff recipe to trigger the little dude to go into the 3 and summon a level 1 token, and then the 3 is going to draw us a card. They're going to stake your soul, and seeing that they have Caesar Valius in hand, I decide to negate the stake your soul, thinking that chances are good they don't have much that they can do from here. The earth targets for stake your soul aren't the best if you're revealing Caesar Valius. So I just decided to negate it. I think that they're pretty desperate, but no, then they just normal summon Razan. Razan's going to grab Mad Love, and they go Rock. Rock is going to summon the Mad Love. Mad Love's going to activate. They're going to grab Continue, set 2, attempt to Caesar, but that targets, so we'll go ahead and summon the 5 and blank the Caesar, then search Chef Special Recipe. We're going to tribute off the Rock in the end phase, and it's now our turn again. We'll go and pop the Dust Devil, and our opponent will concede. This deck is fine, honestly. It gets to use a lot of cards that make my little YouTube commenter goblin heart tingle, like Hungry Burger, but also the Nephthys Link 3, Cross Sheep's Ritual effect, and Sakitama's Tribute effect. Ultimately, this is still nouvelles. It's very limited. It's very weak to the existence of defense position, but it's also really cool. So, screw you. I'm gonna play it. Not often, but I'm gonna play it. Also, the extra deck is mostly junk. I'll be real. The only cards that I had in here before I got those games were the Dynamondos, the Heralds, and the Barone. I just kind of threw everything else in on a whim. All right, see ya.